Sweet, we are live.
Awesome.
We've got a great match ahead of us tonight.
Absolutely. We've got two of the best players in the game tonight. Javier Rodriguez III versus Brendan Borman, both as the Stone. So let me make my move real fast. But Troy, this is going to be a crazy one because, so if you don't know it, just speaking out to the audience here, Brendan's actually undefeated in this league right now.
Yeah, it's pretty absurd considering the competition.
Absolutely. I mean, he is the only one in the league undefeated currently. So,
right.
And
his division, it's no joke too. He's got Laerte in there. He's got, I know he's Adrian Brown,
Joshua Neptune.
Yeah,
all pretty good players. All very good players.
Absolutely.
So I mean, he's been excellent this season. And Javier has taken a few tough losses. And if I know Javier, he's not going to want to finish his first 7 matches 4-3. He's going to and he definitely doesn't want to finish 4-3 giving Brendan the 7-0 sweep.
Right, so, absolutely.
Definitely. So I'm excited for this one. So what are the odds they both go into Old South turn 1 here?
Yeah, I definitely could see that. And, I kind of think it's fun to have. We got the exact same characters, so they're going to, it's pretty rare that we have a match where it's two of the exact same. So they're going to want to take similar paths, and it should create for some fun early conflicts.
No, absolutely. I think one good thing about, at least in this case, both candidates being the same, is that the Stone's a pretty versatile candidate. But all right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, so Javier in green is going Old South, and Brendan's going right to those swing states in Florida.
Yeah, Brendan wanted the early jump, and when the swing states hinge on, or any state groups hinge on one state, you want to it's definitely beneficial to be ahead in the big state because that's 100,000 he's got to beat you out by to flip that state, So you'd rather not hinge on a 10K state if it's going to hinge on a state. So Brendan's wanting to get that early lead, and I think Javier probably would like to go swing states though after Old South, though. So
definitely,
we'll see.
It's been a pretty popular move as of late to kind of bluff the Old South movement, but then kind of pivot right to the swing states. So
right.
Okay. So Javier wants us to pin who is who. Let's see here. Let's figure out how to do that real fast.
Who does he think we are? We don't have that sort of capability. Goodness gracious, Javier.
So let me try this real fast. So Javier.
Oh, I will say I think you got to make the comment first, and then you maybe do something after that to pin it.
Yeah, let's try that. So Javier green.
Yep.
Brendan yellow. All right, let's try that. And it's pinned. Okay, cool.
Sweet. So,
all right.
What do you think, Adam? Does Brendan pick up his first loss tonight? Who are you taking?
Honestly, I kind of do take Javier here. I think it was going to be a battle for the Old South in the sense that I think the Stone is really powerful even when he, instead of just getting Florida. I think with New York, he's totally set. I think he's totally set.
Right. I agree. He's still fine to battle for African American, which I think after swing states will be normally where Brendan would look if he does get swing states. So I could see that being the big group that we really see some competition over.
Definitely. And the thing is, I mean, Brendan better battle him for that African American bonus because, we know with a candidate like, the Stone, he's capable of getting that Old South bonus and then pairing Town and Gown and African American together just a few turns later. So,
Right.
all right, let's see anything interesting happening this turn.
Javier moving up in the Old South. Nothing too unexpected there, and then Brendan spreading out a little bit.
Yeah.
For a turn 3 move. So now Javier, he's got that extra. If you do that route to Old South, I think he's got an extra 125 now, and he didn't, or he would have last turn, and he didn't spend that. So he's got he's got some extra cash. Probably going to go, like you said, probably going to go New York here, is what I would think.
Yeah, I think it's time to move in there. And just kind of like speaking to what you were saying earlier about kind of having Florida as that kind of central piece to your swing state set, as you will. I there are some people who would dispute that, but I'm totally on your side with that. I think that when you have half of the bonus in one state, I think it really gives you. I mean, see, Javier didn't even consider fighting him for swing states.
Right, because when sometimes I've done Hangman, and if your opponent goes in, 3 or 4 of your Wisconsin, Ohio, Virginia, Pennsylvania, then you're just you're guessing. If they decide to block to make sure you don't get it, they just have to pick one, and you got a 1 in 4 chance of picking right if you decide to block on one of them, but I have trouble. I think if you can center your group around a big state, I think that's where you want to be for sure.
Totally agree.
But yeah, I mean, some people, if you can backdoor it. That's great, But I haven't been able to do that too often successfully and keep it for too many turns.
Some people could argue that although you may overspend it first, you won't be overspending later in the game. When you don't claim Florida early. But personally, I'd rather overspend on Florida later in the game and, get a quick path to a bonus earlier on. You know what I mean? Because
right.
if you're overspending early in the game, you can call it nights out. I mean, lights out for me. It's kind of over at that point. So
yeah, absolutely. Brendan, remember our stream the other night, he said he never goes, or he rarely goes above the 3rd pip in Florida. So we'll see if Javier eventually circles back. But I could definitely see Brendan playing some mind games with that too. Maybe tonight he defends.
Yeah, it's one of those things in 270. I don't believe a single word anyone tells me about about how they play. I'm like,
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I was going to ask, can he get Town and Gown in 2 turns with 425 here? I'm trying to think through the math. It'd be 675, so he could do 450 in New York. I think he could get it here by turn, by the end of turn 4, if he wanted to.
Definitely, and I think I'd have to calculate that one out, but I will note one thing though. It was smart of Brendan to go into Arizona to block off that Town and Gown African American combo there.
Right, absolutely.
All right, let's see here. So, okay, so he enters New York like we thought he would.
Got a little Virginia pressure, so.
That's a big 125 right there. That's pretty big.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a good foundation to lay. Did Javier? I can't quite see the screen. Did he go into those other Old South states, or are they still white?
Oh no, he went into South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. So
okay, sweet. So his Old South bonus is perfectly safe.
Yeah, so it seems like he kind of ignored Town and Gown there. Well, not even kind of. He ignored Town and Gown, but it looks like he doubled down on that African American bonus. He wants that bonus. So
right. Yep, it looks like he'll circle back for Town and Gown and go after African American first, which he'll have no problem getting right now. I mean, even if he loses Virginia, that was the only state he was pressured in, I'm sure he can get the math to work to go up in the states that he wasn't pressured in, along with New York to get it.
No, definitely. I wonder. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Is it a wise move to even try to protect Virginia? Because even though you've got that potential high tech usage later on,
Right.
I don't know. Like, is it even worth it? I mean, he's gonna pick up so many other African American states here. He's gonna continue holding that Old South, like you said. I mean, maybe use that money and just put it somewhere like Michigan or Illinois, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. Like he's fine in the Old South now. He's going to be fine for African Americans. So Virginia doesn't do him a lot of good other than high tech, and that's not really turned into a battle yet. Maybe if Brendan goes California, then he'll wish he had Virginia. But
yeah,
I think right now, I agree with you. And he's not going to have a ton of money left over. He's going to go up 150 in California. And then, he's going to pick a couple of these Old South states, and he's got to go 2 pips in those. And I don't know how many he can get, but I'm sure he definitely wants to make sure the math works. And it would be risky, I think, to defend Virginia if it caused him to, Brendan went really hard into it, and he didn't get African American because he didn't pip up in a couple other states. That would be pretty costly.
No, I 100% agree. It doesn't seem to be worth it. I wonder, though, is it worth maybe putting in, like, 2? Just to make sure that Brendan doesn't just... maybe that actually doesn't make a lot of sense either. Because, I mean, if you don't put anything in there and Brendan only goes up 4 or 5, he's going to be pressured to finish it off anyway the next turn. So that money's going to get spent one way or the other. So...
Yeah, I think if he can make the money work for African American and then wants to defend Virginia a little bit, go for it. But make sure you get the African American first.
Okay, that was big.
Yeah, that was big, and I didn't honestly even realize Brendan had pressure in North Carolina.
No, I think that was my fault. I should have been looking at the individual states, but
no, you're fine.
Let's see. I think he lost Old South as a result of that. Wow.
Yeah, so if they're listening to our stream, they're like, you guys are way off the mark as to how that turn was going to go. And maybe the Greenstone, Javier didn't even have the money there to get African-American after getting New York.
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
I don't think he did, because I trust Javier in this, because he only had, 313, and... you need 330 to get African American, so it's kind of like, well, maybe he didn't have it. But yeah, I didn't see that North Carolina either. So let me start from now on, kind of looking at where everybody is. So let's keep in mind that Javier is now putting pressure in Arizona, which makes sense.
Right.
He doesn't need Arizona though, because he's got Utah. But he may actually, because Massachusetts is now contested.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting play by Brendan there to try and delay Town and Gown a turn by going Massachusetts. I've seen it kind of be trendy to go Minnesota to make sure that doesn't happen now, but I can't imagine Javier expected a move into Massachusetts right there. So
no, it was really smart though. I mean, it's either gonna force Javier to overspend, or he's not going to get the bonus.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder if Brendan will actually go and defend that, though, or if he'll just hope Javier goes up too far. Or these guys maybe have the turn 5 down to such a math that, Brendan knows that if Javier goes for African American, he can't get Town and Gown now. Or if he goes for Town and Gown, he can't get African American. So it could have just been that the clash itself was a turning point. But yeah, I mean, Javier, he's got a route to getting both African American and Town and Gown. So I think Brendan's trying to prevent that a little bit.
That makes sense. Because we were just discussing that he can't allow Javier to build that fast. And I mean, he's certainly doing a very, very good job of preventing a quick build here.
Right.
So let's actually make some predictions here.
Okay, what do you got for me?
So let's look at North Carolina real fast. Does Brendan seal North Carolina here, or does he assume that it's too risky for Javier to take it?
I think he probably assumes it's too risky for Javier to take it. And with Javier being on the brink of 2 more bonuses, that would be, Old South, I know that's a bonus, but it's only 50,000. Like, with him on the brink of like 2 major bonuses, I think Javier's going to prioritize getting that, foothold. He needs a foundation here to start out, and he's right there. He's going to get one or the other. And like North Carolina is probably just a little risky and puts him behind if he doesn't get it.
All right, you've totally convinced me. There's no way he's going North Carolina. It's because he's 120,000 back, and if he fails, I mean, he's really in a bad position. I mean, let's keep in mind Brendan's getting 125,000 per turn when Javier currently isn't getting anything.
Right.
So he needs to get these bonuses, and he may just have to concede North Carolina at this point, which is, no, I mean, it's not too bad of a concession here. He only invested 3 pips, so.
No, these big states are sneaky, or mid-sized states like North Carolina and Ohio. They always take more money to steal than I realize when I'm, looking at it all, and it could cut into your money to go for a steal like that and not get it.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's see here.
So, Greenstone low spins here. Looks like he's just going to ensure he gets the town and gown bonus. He reads that bluff in Massachusetts fine,
Yeah.
So, did he get town and gown?
He did.
Oh wait,
not.
no, that was Brendan.
Yeah, he did not. So I think Brendan was kind of thinking along the lines of, okay, Javier is not going to want to overspend here, so he's going to go to the 3 mark. So I'm going to clash him there and set him back another turn for that town and gown bonus, which is pretty smart.
Did Javier enter any other town and gown states there to ensure he gets it in the future?
He didn't, but what he did do is he entered Illinois and Michigan. So he's really setting himself up. He's like, okay, maybe town and gown I'm going to put on the back burner for now, but I'm really eyeing high tech, and I'm really eyeing African American. Those 2 are must-haves right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Illinois gives him, that 1 state away from Latino as well. Assuming he gets California.
Brendan just entered California.
Oh goodness, this stone thing. We've got the rock versus the stone, but yeah. So Brendan's in California. It looks like we're gonna have a race for high tech. So that'll be pretty fun.
Absolutely. This will. I think 270 kind of screwed us this game with the color scheme. Could have been a little better than yellow and green with the same candidates.
Go Pack, go! Got some Green Bay Packers colors, so I can vibe with that.
Big Steelers fan myself, but
oh really?
Yeah, but the last few seasons have been painful. They've been painful.
Well, y'all have had a good, past couple decades.
That's true.
I was a big Miller fan, not for the Steelers, so I don't know, but yeah, who do the Steelers have? Like, I guess his offense centered around this year. James Conner, kind of.
It'll be James Conner's back. Juju. Let's see. I don't think we have a lot of talent, to be honest. I mean, Big Ben's back. That's kind of good, I guess. All right, let's see what happens here.
All right, so it looks like the African American bonus is finally going to happen for Javier.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's a big one.
Okay, he's entering Texas. That's smart. Okay, he tried to take back Virginia and but Brendan saw that one coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so he will get African American. Oh no.
Maybe did he need Virginia there?
Huh.
I don't know. I'm surprised to see him spend that in Illinois and it not result in African American.
Yeah, especially when he has now 407,000.
Wait,
We can assume that like 50 of that is the Old South money because he did go up in Old South states, so he spent the money he had.
he's
So,
not. He's only on the second rung in New York though. I think maybe is that
oh
right?
wow, yeah, you're right. He's really behind when it comes to spending right now.
Yeah.
Um, I think he
I'm.
might have been concerned that Brennan was going to move into California and Texas,
Yeah.
so he might have jumped the gun a little bit, honestly, with moving into Texas.
Right. I know. I wonder if there's any way Brendan dreams of going into Texas right here because Javier's going to have to spend 150 and then he's got another 60 in Old South. I'm not sure. Or what is Stone's Old South bonus? Is it 10% or 20?
It's actually there's no bonus to it.
Oh, okay.
If
Gotcha. Okay, never mind. So Javier probably left himself enough money to go one in Texas and one in New York here. I'm assuming with that Old South bonus, and I think that's what he would do because I don't think he would want to leave himself with too little of money to defend Texas after preemptively going into it and delay New York another turn.
I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense, and I think I might have jumped the gun myself with saying that Javier jumped the gun, just because I think you're right. I think if you subtract 50 from this, we're at 357. That is
Right.
enough for one here, one there. But the question is, does it get him African American? Should we do that quick math to
Right.
figure out what's going on here?
I would think with New York it'd have to because I mean just looking at the Old South quick, I know Old South and Florida gets it for you, like Louisiana to Maryland and Florida. So if
Yeah.
you take out like Virginia and North Carolina and add an extra 50 for New York, and then if you add the 50 for Illinois, he should easily get it. Is he experiencing any pressure in his other Old South states?
Let's take a look real fast here. No. Actually, yes, in Maryland.
Okay, gotcha.
Maryland. Okay, so that's an important one to look at here because that's a pretty big swing. It's one of those mid-sized states we were just discussing where it's like if Brendan gets to like the fifth or sixth peg, you've got to look at it and think, well, that's kind of gone at this point.
Right, right. And there's like a game within the game right now that like Javier, he can go to, like one in Texas to defend against like a Brendan double pip into Texas.
Yeah.
Um, or he can say to himself, Brendan's not going to double pip into Texas because he knows I can do that. Like I have some money to defend Maryland or to go up two in Michigan. So
Yeah,
there's definitely,
no,
you
I
know,
totally agree. I think that's the move at this point. I think you have to assume that Brendan is in a good position right now and he doesn't want to risk his, I would say, distinct advantage currently.
right, right.
And he's not gonna double tap Texas.
Yeah.
So you've got to use that money in a, I don't know, like a more judicious way right now. So
Ooh, gonna have to get the thesaurus out to check out.
as I stumbled through that word, so classic.
It's all good. Uh, Someone said in the comments last game, I think it was Siraj. He said we had very soothing voices, so I like that. I might have to pin that comment somewhere.
All right, we're seeing lots of African American pressure here. Oh, there we go. There's that Maryland steal.
Yep, he did defend a little bit, but he didn't think he would go that far. And that's a nice state for high tech too. So Brendan setting himself up nicely when he does get California. But African American, that's huge.
That is huge. I was kind of worried after seeing Maryland. I'm like, okay, I hope Javier has it calculated out such that, Even if he loses Maryland, he's got it. So
Right. So are you still taking Javier in this one?
this one's tough because well, let's look at their paths forward here for a second.
Sure.
So, what's Brendan's path forward? I see that he's pressuring a lot of, Javier states in Michigan, Illinois, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some big ones right there. But
Right.
is he really going to contest African American at this point? Maybe. He's got a solid 3 states on the East Coast. And he's got Arizona. Let's take a look at that real fast.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not worth it.
If he had Tennessee and Delaware and DC uncontested, he probably just needs 1 or 2 more flips. But, he could just take his high tech, look at probably getting the jump in oil and gas as well, maybe, just by having this pressure. I mean, I will say, looking at the bar here, Javier, he's just got it by a thread. He's barely got African American. So 1 flip would take that away from him right here.
That's true, but he can drop 2 in Michigan, so that's 45 right there. But then again, there's pressure there, so he's going to have to. That'd be kind of a lousy way to spend your recently won bonus to drop 2, and then the other guy goes 5, and you're like, oh boy. So
right, exactly. Yeah, so, I think this will be a pretty important move right here.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised. I think you're right. I think Brendan's thinking, okay, well maybe I won't get a bonus this turn, but But maybe I won't get a bonus this turn, but maybe I can take away that big bonus he just got. But let's see, what other kind of path does he have here? He's definitely got the high tech path. We can see he's got that set up. He's got Pennsylvania. He's got Virginia. He's now got Maryland. He's got Massachusetts. He's going to get Washington. And actually, that makes Michigan way more of a target.
Right. He could just add that to his collection of high-tech states.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking like a pro here, and I'm not sure this actually works out mathematically, but you put a bunch in Michigan, so that helps you get high-tech. But then you also take another one of Javier's states, which that means he'll lose African American and you pick up high tech. So
right, but he's got to make a risky play. Like he's got to get it in Michigan, and he's got to flip like an Illinois or Louisiana, and that's not going to be easy. Brendan's not exactly working with a ton of free cash right now.
Yeah,
when you factor in that swing state that he's got. He's got probably 300 some thousand, maybe less, maybe 250 something. He's not got a ton to drop into these states.
Okay, so seeing what's going on here, I actually still like Javier. I'm still taking Javier because if Javier can use that African American money in Michigan, he will take the manufacturing bonus as long as he can prevent the Illinois flip.
Right.
And he's
now
also
you said that kind of makes me think Brendan's going to go for one or the other.
That's true.
But I don't know. You could see some low spins here. They could both kind of think it's too risky and kind of want to see one more turn before they make their move. I don't know.
This one is tricky. That's why they're taking a while this term. This one's a real thinker.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Let me check the comments. I haven't been on Facebook in a second. Nothing crazy. Tyler DeMora, he's got a little GIF for us, but other than that, we're pretty straightforward. I'm curious if anybody in the comments like what they think about who's going to win.
Did you just see that? Holy crap!
Wait, no, I didn't see it.
Arizona. So Brendan sealed it off, and Javier went to the 9th peg.
Really?
Yes.
Man, that's quite the play. I guess he had that town and gown, or did he have the town and gown?
Not yet.
I guess. Shoot. What a play.
And he lost,
loses African American.
Yes. He lost Illinois. Wow.
So I could be wrong, but I think African American must have been so close that Michigan, like getting Michigan and losing Illinois, just that 5,000 difference must have been all it took.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
That's especially heartbreaking because is Javier in a single other African American state?
I, did he go into DC just now, or was that Brendan actually?
That was Brendan.
Really? So, like the move with his town and gown money might have been to instead go into DC. That would have given him, just enough as a safety plan. But
Yeah.
Brendan saw that coming, and Javier. Well, it didn't come, but I like that move by Brendan there. Really battling for these African American states. It could flip Brendan's way,
Yeah, I'm starting to lean toward Brendan right now for for this game. That was kind of huge.
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap though. He's going to have to. One of them's going to have to use states like Tennessee and Delaware, which haven't even been entered yet. The African American bonus could stay out of each other's hands for maybe a couple more turns. I could see it being like that at least, and it kind of depend on these few states that haven't been entered yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a huge swing right there.
Right.
I mean, what was Javier on? Was he on like?
He was like peg one, I think. I mean, he was way down there. And I guess he was thinking, I could be wrong, he may have got town and gown if he got Arizona there too. So he may have been thinking, I'll keep. Well, no, he didn't go in town and gown states. So, I guess hypothetically it would have been helpful for town and gown, but he was really just trying to keep that African American there, and just guessed wrong.
I think he fell to a similar ploy that I did in one of my finals games against Tossin, actually, where Tossin was like on the 6th or 7th peg in Pennsylvania, and I was like on the 1st. I stole Pennsylvania, but the question was, at what cost? At what cost? And it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of a head scratcher in Arizona because it's like, at what cost? Because you just pointed out he wasn't going to get town and gown.
Right.
I guess he would have kept African American, but maybe use that money instead to go into Tennessee, to go into some of these other African American states like Delaware.
Sure. And when Brendan has extra swing state money to spend every turn, and he doesn't have many swing states to defend in right now, I mean, Brendan may not have even anticipated him going in Arizona there, but he may be just looking at that money like, well, there's no other states I have pressure. I might as well use it here. And, it's definitely going to hurt. Obviously, if he gets it, we're talking about how genius he is right now. So, little outcome bias, but
sure.
But yeah, that move definitely hurt, and I don't know if it was worth it. I completely agree. At what cost? Because he's got a money disadvantage now too, and still hasn't quite found that foundation of a bonus. That foothold to get in the game to kind of get a couple extra 100,000 per turn. He's getting nothing.
Yeah, it's Brennan's playing this really, really well. Okay, so he's gonna fight for California. And Javier loses Michigan.
Looks like Brendan may get African. Nope, he doesn't.
Let's take a look how close that is now, though. It's got to be really close.
Right. I know Brendan may have even been DC away there. I wonder if he realized. Maybe he expected a steal in one of those states.
Yeah, he is the tiniest of margins away from African American.
I know. I'm curious if it was that close. I don't want to do the math that quick, but I mean, it might have been just as simple as picking up in DC right there.
Honestly, that's kind of a heartbreaker for Javier there, because he's now got to play a little bit of Russian roulette. I mean, Does he try to take back Illinois? Does he try to take back Michigan? I don't think he does.
Well, and we've already established too, like Michigan won't give him the African American bonus, except which he could add DC. But like he had Michigan, and it didn't get him there. So he's. I feel like Brendan probably closes out Illinois because it just seems like the no brainer play by Javier. If that's his only route to African American, except for he could do Michigan and DC, but.
No, great call. No, I totally agree. That's a really good point. I mean, Illinois is the one to seal out. If you lose Michigan, who cares?
Right, exactly.
I mean, even if you lose it, it's like, okay, Javier gets nothing out of it, and he spends all this money to get a state where he gets nothing out of it. So,
right, like how many? I mean, it'd take what 300,000 to flip it, and oh man, that'd be such a risky play by. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at least 250-ish thousand, a little less than that, but
still,
that's so much money out of his 410 that he's got. Oh man, and if you don't get it, goodness, you're just set back so far. So Javier's gonna have to scramble a little bit here. He needs to find a foothold pretty quick.
Definitely, and it's like as someone who loves to play from Texas. I'm looking at this and it's just like damn, like he doesn't even have a route right now to manufacturing.
Yeah, Brendan's like he's kind of letting him get in North Carolina and then Virginia and Illinois and Michigan, and then he's like locking them in. So like Javier's like continuing to pivot, but he's got money invested in all these states. It's not like he's only forcing Brendan to overspend. Like he's got some money in these states too that is now worthless. So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to count him out, but he's gonna have to find a new. He's gonna have to either go really hard and make some good plays for African American, or he's gonna have to completely jump ship, go oil and gas and manufacturing, and hope to scrounge something up in the next couple turns.
No, I definitely agree. And just kind of a clarifier to what I said earlier, I guess he does have a route because he's got Michigan plus Indiana would give him manufacturing.
Okay.
But at the same time, it goes back to what we said earlier, at what cost? I mean...
Right.
I mean, geez, like
I'd be scared to death to go for Michigan or Illinois here if I were him, but...
Yeah.
But, maybe the play... And he has a route here where he could jump ship and go for California and maybe do a little California Texas combo here soon. I don't know how much that helps him. It would cost a lot and take a few turns to get there. But I mean, I definitely get a little intimidated when my opponent has both those states. Yeah. But I don't know how much that actually does for him here, because he just has so much money invested in African American states and high tech. With New York, I mean, like the easy one, like Town and Gown, like you get New York, pretty. Town and Gown's right there for you.
It should be kind of a guarantee, and it's yeah.
Oh
wow!
Oh, we forgot about Maryland, but Brendan didn't.
Wow.
Oh, okay. He gets the flip in Michigan. Yep,
wow,
yep.
okay.
We forgot about Maryland, but Brendan Borman did not. He remembered, locked it in, and that's another state Javier goes to the 9th rung on and doesn't get. So, another tough break.
Wow, he's got to be throwing his phone at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's first Arizona and now Maryland.
Right, like
I mean, that's
he's got 310 to work with. Like that's so predictable. I mean, like even in Illinois, Brendan can go up 1 or 2 pegs and know for sure Javier can't pass him.
Yeah.
I guess he has to go up 3 pegs here to make sure, but.
No,
it's just nice when your opponent doesn't have money.
Yeah, he's got that Old South bonus. Only has to go up So let's see, just two. Just two, you were right, just two. So,
Yep.
wow, okay, so, and, I mean, this is especially brutal. I mean, look at this. Um, he's about to get, Brendan's gonna make a ploy here for the manufacturing bonus.
Right. I'm gonna do it the hangman style, I guess.
Yeah.
What does he need? He just needs Michigan um or both Indiana and Kentucky, I guess.
Yeah. He would need
Hmm.
both of these or Michigan. Yeah.
Javier's got to be pretty tempted to lock in Michigan. I mean, but also every dime he has is super important, and spending 90,000 is no joke right now when he's got 250,000 free.
Yeah.
Because he needs to make a move. He needs to get something other than just defending Michigan. Like, gosh, that would be brutal to lose that. But I'm curious. Like, surely you lock that in there, right?
So that's 90. So he'd have 220 left over.
So it's like, what are you hoping for with that 220 at that point? Like, do you go into Tennessee hoping to get African American that way? Do you go into some town and gown states? Maybe flip Massachusetts? Like,
I don't
know.
even know because it's not even 220 because another 50 of that is Old South money.
Yeah.
Okay. So
This is why Brendan's undefeated. I mean, he's got it just by the slimmest margins, made the right calls, and spent very efficiently to put himself in such a good spot where, like, if you're the other opponent, like, you're just throwing your hands up. You're like, I really don't know what to do anymore. He's blocking me off everywhere. I'm on plan, like, A, B, C, D. Like, I'm on my, like, fifth option to, like, find a bonus now. So
he's been just kind of predicting that everything Javier has been doing. I mean, he predicted Arizona, he predicted Maryland, he clashed in Massachusetts. He
right.
Has been preventing pretty much all of Javier's routes here.
Yep.
I mean, I think the turn where he went to the fifth peg in Virginia and North Carolina, that was a really bad turn for Javier.
Well, here's the great news, Adam. Me and you, we get to play Brendan here in a couple days. So we might get to see this up close and personal. I guess Sunday night, me and you in a three-way match against Brendan should be interesting.
Yeah, he's definitely he definitely should be the guy with the YouTube channel. I mean, he's
absolutely.
good. He is real good. So
for sure.
Huh.
So what do you do if you're Javier here? Do you just save? Do you just find a foothold in something like oil and gas? Like,
I low spend. I do. I hate to say it, but he can't be this predictable. He can't have 310 each round. Like
right. Yeah, and here comes some pressure in those African American states.
Wow.
Oh, all right. He's not listening to us, so that's.
No, that's
it
smart.
Looks like it'll flip back.
Yeah. No, it's smart of him not to listen to us. That's good. That's good.
Absolutely. Yep. Looks like Brendan was going to make a play for African American himself here with those moves. Man, it's just like, when you get at this level of play, there's so much game theory involved. And like with Illinois right there, it's just this constant cycle of, like, he should defend it. So he knows he should defend it. So he's going to think that I'm going to, think I don't need to take it, and because he thinks that I'm not going to take it, I'm now going to take it. So it's pretty deep, I think, that move into Illinois, because you had to think Brendan was probably going to see that Javier needed after that to get African American, and probably didn't expect that.
No, I totally agree. And it was like, I mean, that was kind of a major bluff on Brendan's part there. I mean, we've been kind of looking at Javier's position and we're like, what does he do? And I guess
Right.
there was the one solution, which was Hail Mary in Illinois.
Right.
And
But we're like, that's too easy. Like he'll get that, you know? Like it's too simple almost, you know?
it's just 2 pegs up. We were like, it's only 2 pegs up. Um, he'll defend that. He did not defend that.
Yep, yep.
So, but
Crazy enough, he didn't defend Michigan either, you know?
yeah, it's a lot of mind games going on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. So, I'd have to imagine, though, he's going to use some of the African. I don't even know, though, because look at this. Brendan's, pressuring in all these old South states. I mean, he's got a
Yeah.
tenuous grasp right now on the AA bonus. Like,
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
let's take a look at that.
Man,
That could,
that's so wild to me that Javier didn't spend in Michigan, but I guess Brendan expected him to and didn't go in Michigan. Like, to be that close to the top there and neither one of them lock it in. That's shocking.
that's crazy because Javier would have needed a new phone if he did, if he didn't spend and then Brendan tried to take that state. That would have been.
Right.
Is that the would that have been the worst move in the world for Brendan to do, considering he's only 45K behind?
Well, I thought about that too. Like, we had that match the other night where, if you have the bonus, you're thinking, yeah, I'll lose this clash if you're just looking straight up dollars and cents. But I have the bonus and he's spending straight cash. Like,
Yeah.
I'll take that clash maybe, even though he's only spending 2/3 of my money.
No, absolutely. That was a really smart comment by you last night. That was in Georgia when Nathan was probably 3 or 4 pegs behind Daniel, and he went all the way. And we were like, "Whoa, kind of a bad clash for Nathan." But you pointed that out, and that's really true. I mean, if that was a more damaging clash to Daniel, even though he was farther up the rung. So
Right, right. And Brendan there, he would have actually flipped Michigan, which actually wouldn't have gotten Javier still would have gotten African American bonus because, like we pointed out earlier, like that Illinois that 5 extra was all he needed.
yeah. Okay,
So
so oh
locks in Illinois, locks in Michigan, no surprise there. But he can't lose. He can't lose too much here. I don't know if Brendan's going to make a play for African American or not. He doesn't. So that's big. He's got some states locked in now, and he's got some African American money to work with. But Brendan does just kind of pivot, and he's like, I'll take high tech, I'll take oil and gas. Why not? So
definitely.
he still gets 2 bonuses.
Look at this money difference, 860 to 420. So yeah, it's gonna be at this point, if you're Javier, you're looking at this state right here. Because
Yeah,
I think that was Javier's goal there because he was like, okay, if I lock in these 3 states, I should be able to keep African American, even if he goes for, Louisiana or, any of these other states that he's in. Wait, let's see, he's in these 2. Yeah.
yeah.
But regardless, I think he can safely use that money at this point to pressure in Florida.
Yep, yep. I definitely agree. But Brendan, he could pressure in Texas right now. Javier, he's still not to the third rung there, right?
No.
So like, I don't know. There's Latinos on the board. Like all these things are still on the board, and he needs Texas to get there. So I mean, he can do both. He could pressure in Florida and pip up in Texas, and that'd be a big move for him. He could get manufacturing, and I guess I expect that probably to be what we see right here.
Yeah, that's probably where he's going to put his money. I mean, maybe you pressure somewhere else with Brendan stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, maybe it's. I don't know if it's worth pressuring an oil right now. It could be, but it's also like worth keeping in mind that Brennan's just going to use that oil money to go elsewhere, and it's not even a bonus worth overspending in. Because I think he's a penalty negative
Oh wow,
30.
30%. Yeah.
So he's only getting like 60 something with that bonus. So it's kind of like, I'm not going to like overspend for it.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
I'll make my spend real fast. Let's see. Let's go to state groups real fast. Latino.
I've, you know, Brendan has to get pretty much every other state. Well, he does. He has to get every other state if Javier gets Texas, and assuming Javier gets Texas. Javier has to get one state, so it doesn't matter which one to get Latino. So that one's still going to be contested a little bit. It could be New Jersey, it could be New Mexico. New Jersey, even though it's pretty expensive, might be the play because Brennan's got a head start everywhere else.
I think we kind of missed it though, because if Javier goes up one in Texas, he gets manufacturing, but he'll also get Latino, right?
Oh, I'm having trouble. I thought that was a yellow. I thought Nevada was yellow. So,
The colors are
yeah,
terrible.
you're exactly right. Yeah, he's positioned himself to get manufacturing and Latino here. So that's pretty big. That's Javier's got a nice move coming up for him.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. Ag. Okay, I mean this is Brennan's to take. Where does he? Is he anywhere else? Like, does he? Oh, if he just moves up in one of these, he'll get ag.
Right.
All right, so Brennan's using some of that extra money to go into other oil states, which makes sense. Why defend with that money?
Sure.
Okay, but he's going to pressure in Nevada.
And Brendan goes into New Jersey. So Brendan has not given up on Latino yet.
Not at all, especially moving into New York. I mean, he's
Oh, I
really.
didn't even catch that.
Yeah, he moved into New York, so he's like, okay, he's gonna come out from all sides here. Wow, what a
Yep,
big turn for
absolutely.
Javier.
And crazy enough, Javier still doesn't have the town and gown yet. I mean, maybe I'm playing the game wrong. I like to me, like I if I go through New York, like I start with town and gown. Like that's kind of my base. And but they're making me look at the game in a whole new way tonight. Like he's foregone that, and he's been able to scramble and get back in it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting to question myself too. It's like, well, maybe I'm wasting my early moves getting town and gown.
Right,
So,
right.
huh. Okay, we pretty much it's what we expected, except to be honest, I actually didn't know Javier was going to pick up export as well. But it makes sense considering he has Illinois, Michigan, New York, and
Louisiana.
Texas. Makes sense. Oh,
Yeah.
and Louisiana. Makes sense. Makes
Yep.
sense.
So we're pretty even on bonuses now. Brendan definitely has a distinct advantage in cash, but Javier's actually, let's say, assuming he does get town and gown before there's a steal or anything like that in New York. Brendan actually, or I mean, Javier's actually going to have more bonuses if he's able to get town and gown. So um, he's actually going to end up coming out of this okay bonus wise, but that pressure in New York is no joke, and he's going to have to. I mean, if he's going to have to play it right is all there is to it. He's either going to have to spend when Brendan spins or not spend when Brendan doesn't spin. You know.
No, I definitely agree with that. And it's also worth noting that I don't believe Brennan spent any of that high tech money last turn. And I'm
Yeah.
actually not sure where that high tech money has been going.
Yeah, Brendan may be able to take New York without a shadow of a doubt here. So,
That would hurt.
Yeah, it definitely would. He can go. So, what bonuses does Brendan have again?
So he's got manufacturing.
Uh-huh.
He's got agriculture, which don't apply. He's got oil and gas, and he's got high tech.
Okay. I mean, I could see. Oh man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he may have the cash to take New York outright, but I'm not sure.
Is Brendan a cautious player?
Oh, what?
Is he a cautious player?
Oh, cautious. I thought you said conscience. I was like, I don't know what that means. That's a new term for this game. I don't know. Brendan, it seems to me like he just is like a make the right moves all the time type of player, you know? Like he certainly has applied pressure in good spots all match. I'm surprised. Has Javier pressured Florida yet?
He is not. He has not pressured Florida yet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Brendan's probably decently cautious, but really the better term is probably efficient. He's efficient with his money. So I don't know if that sometimes leads to caution.
All right, let's see here. Oh, small spend by Brendan.
Yep.
Is he going for the
Looks
ballot?
like he's going for a ballot. Yeah, I believe he's going for a ballot, and it might be there for him. I'm trying to do the count real quick. I believe there might be enough locked in already.
Okay, so Javier does protect New York.
And this is like a classic move. You like threaten their large state with a bunch of money, and then go for the ballot. But he does get a clash, so we won't have a ballot here.
Still, though, I mean, look at that electoral vote difference.
Yeah, that was massive. And Brendan saved a ton of money there.
Yeah.
I mean, he could still make a run at New York. I kind of doubt he will, just because he's got enough to really control the ballot right now, and Javier's going to need a ton of flips. Granted, Brendan's got a pretty soft lead in most of these states. It's just too many flips, I think. But we still got a little ways to go. I mean, I don't want to count anybody out.
This one's going to be real rough for Javier, because he's going to have to spend, one in each of these states just to get in. And then what if Brendan Lowe spends again? I mean, he's pretty much everywhere already. Enter South Carolina, enter Arkansas, maybe leave Texas alone. I don't know. It's up to him. He's got the money to make real pressure there, but and then he's got the electoral advantage, and then he's got the cash advantage going into the ballot round. That
absolutely. He could flip New York, but I don't think that happens. It would just be so risky at this point.
It doesn't make sense at this point, considering he's up, 126 electoral votes. Yep. I think at this point he just prepares for the ballot round.
Yeah, I had a match like this kind of similarly with Nathan Williams, where he kind of had a money advantage, and I felt like, was kind of controlling the game. And actually, as like a Hail Mary play, I was in Javier's position. I probably wasn't in quite as tough a position, but I actually defended New York as like an aggressive play, because I felt like I couldn't win it straight up. Like I couldn't, like unless Javier unless Brendan goes for New York. If Brendan doesn't go for New York, I don't have a path to victory. So I've got to play as if he's going to go for New York. I mean, that might be the wrong way to approach that, but if you don't see a route to victory, just like flipping enough states with the cash you've got, then you've got to hope that your opponent does something a little too ambitious, maybe, and maybe you're able to get a money advantage that way. But
that's a really, really good point. It was like,
But with that said, I don't see Brendan making that play. You know, Nathan happened to make that play against me for New York. I think Brendan just, you know, he's looking for electoral votes right here. He doesn't need New York.
I was also, you know, I was kind of reminded of, you know, from like what you were just saying. Of I think it was like a game like where Dylan Hales was playing. It was it was Dylan Hales versus Tossin. Here, I'll continue the story in a second. Let's see what happens.
Oh man, huge spin by Brendan here. Huge spin. Maybe he does go for New York. He's making a lot of flips. He wants to be ahead in a lot of these states for the ballot round, it looks like.
Yeah.
He does not flip New York, which would have been pretty risky. I didn't expect that. Closed out Pennsylvania. A lot of money went there. So he spends a lot of that cash, but he, you know, he gets a lot of electoral votes too. I think even though he spent a lot of his cash, I still think he's okay. And do we get a ballot? Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one's because I it just doesn't seem like Javier's in enough states here, right?
Yep. He didn't even go in enough states. So Brendan's going to see him coming in the states that it needs to defend, and I doubt there's any route to victory here for Javier.
No, I don't see it either. But the story I was telling was I think it was the match between Tossin and Dylan Hales I was watching. And Tossin had a distinct money advantage on the ballot. And, you know, I was like, well, maybe Dylan should just go a Hail Mary in California. And everyone's like, well, I mean, that's too risky. But I was like, well, he doesn't really have a path any other way. Why not just throw all your eggs in one basket and hope that Tossin doesn't defend there? And Tossin didn't defend there. And that would have been the decider. So
that's wild.
Yeah, so it's like the odds were Tossin does defend there and you don't get it, but you have no other path. If that's your only path to victory, then take it. And that's why I like your New York example. I mean,
and that's such a weird one because you need the other guy to make like a weird play there.
Sure.
But you're like, man, unless he gets over ambitious and does this, like I'm not going to beat him money for money on the ballot.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm going to use it as actually like an offensive play to, like, not even that I think he's going to go in New York. Like, heck, you probably lose by more electoral votes by like defending New York. Like, for instance, if he had defended New York right there, he'd be even in worse shape right here.
Yeah.
But like if that's your only route and you're like the only way is if he does something dumb, goes for New York, and then I'm able to you know get back even money wise while still not losing New York, like I don't know, maybe that's your only route. But I mean Brendan's played this great. He's made the right blocks, he's made the right pivots. You know, I'm curious when he's going to take his first loss. I think it could be a second.
Yeah, I think so too. He's facing your division next, right?
Yeah. So wait, now that you mentioned that, he's probably gonna have a tough time with Troy Moore, but everyone else.
Yeah, I wish you the best on that. I'll be watching that one. That'll probably get streamed. So.
Yeah, I'm curious. I want to check out I'm curious what which division he's matched up with on the other side.
This one right here, because Javier is in the other conference.
Oh, really? Okay, so they're playing their like interleague match right now. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah. So I guess just because they're like 3 divisions per conference, Javier kind of structured it that way. But
yeah. No, I like the schedule. It makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, Brendan put on a clinic tonight.
Yep.
He really did.
Absolutely.
So, He's kind of
I
making
don't
his
think
he's making his mark in this league because everybody knows that Brendan's a top player, but I mean to go 7-0 in the RHL, yeah,
Yep, that's no joke. And Brendan's so like he's so modest about his abilities. Sometimes he talks about other players a lot that I think he kind of gets overlooked sometimes when you look at the Jason Caseys and the Nathan Williams and those guys. But
sure.
anyways, we got a ballot here, so we'll see if anything crazy happens. I did notice Brendan defended California, so maybe he was looking for that Javier Hail Mary that you just described.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, big defend by Javier there, using that manufacturing money. But yeah, he's having to try to flip these states that he's not even in, which he's going to get Minnesota. Shout out to him for that. And he's going to get Missouri. I'm surprised Brendan didn't go ahead and go to the second rung on those.
Yeah, they're the easiest states to defend.
Right. Right. I guess it's more of those mind games. Like, I know he won't go for it because he'll think I'm going to go too,
Look how close this game's getting.
Yeah, he's making some flips here. It's too little, too late. But Javier really played that ballot round about as good as you could ask for, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he blocked that Indiana steal. Kind of went up in, Missouri and other, high electoral vote states, but
yeah,
I'd say. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, let's see if we can get one of these guys on for an interview after. I'm curious if either of them are free. One of them had a match after. Maybe Javier had another one or something.
Yeah, let's see. I'll send these guys a text and see if we can bring one on here.
Okay, awesome. So Brendan Borman finishes the first half of the season with 21 points. Not bad.
Absolutely. I mean, I thought, Jeff was killing it with 19. Oh, no, that was Supun.
Yeah,
he is 19. I was like, that's a real feat, but 21. Flawless start to the season. That was like Jason last season. Like, I think Jason had kind of one fluke loss earlier, but he went like 10-1 in his one-on-one matches. So it was here. Let's send Javier the invite here.
Okay.
Let's see, how do we do that?
I think Javier did that last year too. I'm not sure.
I think Javier went 8-3 in the 1v1s, which is still great. But Jason finished 10-1, so it looks like Brendan's gonna have a season like that.
Okay. Man, I'm gonna struggle with Discord. Let's see. I'm gonna click on Javier. His name.
Oh, we can bring on Brendan and Javier here.
Yeah, let's bring them both on.
Yeah, let's bring them both on.
Okay, Brendan's. It says he's on offline. I don't know. Do you have any idea how to send an invite?
All right, let's try this out here. Maybe I should maybe hang up the call and try to go on like the group message so that everyone else can come on too.
Yeah, the pig and whistle. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, maybe let's try that.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Hang in there, guys. Sorry about this. I still want to get these interviews up here.
I hate it's a pet peeve of mine. But you're just like a step ahead the whole time. The only reason it was so close is because somehow I got Michigan and Illinois back.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I did the reason I didn't go in Michigan didn't go in Illinois was that I thought that you would give up on African American because I had the Old South pressure too.
Yeah.
You'd pivot to manufacturing, and
The whole time.
so I got to turn my voice down because I'm echoing here.
Illinois back.
Let's see, turn that off. Okay, but so I did the math, and you could go up in Indiana, up in it didn't work out. I think you were like 5,000 short or something. So I'm like, well, he'll want to get at least some bonus. And I thought maybe if you didn't want to go that route, you'd do a hero move and go one pip ahead of me in California, and then try to get both California and Texas.
Man, that the round I went up in California, I thought for sure you were going to go up 2 in Cali. That's why I didn't go in. I might have had a chance to get all 3.
Yeah, that would have been sick. No, I think Troy nailed on the head. It wasn't. I thought you were going to go in Arizona, but I had like 250 or whatever swing money. I'm like, man,
yeah.
I was holding it.
I was deciding between Arizona or Maryland. I should have gone Maryland.
Yeah, all good. But no, that was what's crazy is Go ahead.
You guys are live, by the way. I'm pretty sure now, right, Adam?
Yeah. We're all live.
We're just letting you go, though.
Okay.
Yeah. What's crazy is I messaged Adam. I was trying to. So at first I messaged Javier and I said, "What kind of candidate are you? Are you like a stacked candidate? Are you like a?" Because I was going to be. I just got a 270 subscription. I was going to bust out Queen Elizabeth, and so we were kind of playing a game of chicken. Just because I don't like going Stone versus Stone or FDR. I mean, it kind of makes it for an interesting match because you guys are you're fighting over the same bonuses. But I was like, I told Adam, I was like, yeah, I'll be the Stone as long as he's not the Stone. And then it was like an awkward silence. So who are you gonna be? I was like, dang it.
Well, the thing is, like, I was like, okay, I'm like in an ethical, situation here. I'm like, I can't tell you who Javier is gonna be ahead of time, but also you want to kind of not be the same candidate. So I'm like, be whoever you want to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll get. No, I was like, dang it. So all good, but yeah, good game, Javier. That was and what bonus? I mean, what do you think was the X factor? Do you think it was African American, or do you think it was? I mean, that's the obvious one.
It was because I was not able to pick up any bonuses until like so far. By the time I got all my bonuses, you were already pressuring me so much, and you were over 270. So by the time I got all my bonuses, I messed up too on Town and Gown. I messed up horribly at the end of Town and Gown, not even going up in Utah. But that Massachusetts clash, that pissed me off. I was like, what is this guy doing, Massachusetts?
And also,
yeah, you were like ahead of the game, like with going into like DC and Massachusetts. Like those were 2 big ones, like that I saw that they were just like preventative.
Yeah, well, that plus DC plus Massachusetts was basically my makeup for Michigan. If I didn't get Michigan for high tech, now
right.
I played the long game with high tech. I could have gone 2 pips in California 1 turn before I did, but it was a choice I had to make, and I did the math. And I wanted to steal African American, and I thought about taking Louisiana. I don't know how much it was defended, but I ended up conceding Michigan and going not all in, but significantly in Illinois. And that 5,000 difference between 50,000 Illinois, 45 Michigan was the difference in delaying African American a whole turn because we basically traded. He got Michigan and I got Illinois, and
Yeah, that was huge.
Bad trade.
Yeah, bad trade for Javier.
Yeah, bad trade. So also, like, I mean, it just seemed like you were kind of, I don't know, like kind of even early on, we knew you were going to kind of contest Javier's path right when you moved into Arizona. Because it was like, okay, you can kind of pair whatever you'd like here at the beginning for that swing state bonus, but you're making sure Arizona's one of those states. You're going to contest both African American and town and gown. And
right. And I did the same thing with Iowa. I mean, that was little. I mean, there's 20, but I don't know. It's tough because I honestly, like, whenever I stole North Carolina and Virginia, like, I did not expect to get both of those. That was kind of I wouldn't say a hedge to get one, but I was, I didn't. I kind of thought Javier might go all in on Virginia. I wasn't certain, but I didn't want to rely on either of those states.
I didn't think you were going to close out the states guy. I was saying I didn't know you weren't going to close out the states guy. I thought for sure you'd close out the states, but you just go up there and tease me a little bit, going a few pips before locking it in, make me choose. I hate that.
And sometimes when you choose, you get clashed, which I know. Yeah, I think you start going to the ninth pip, Yeah.
Yeah, just in case, it'd be like, okay, don't want to clash all the way. It'd be, brutal.
Those are tough because, and then also, like, from a math standpoint, like when you almost close it off, you put it in your column, but it's like.
Speaking of math, how much paper did you have by you going on? I felt like
I had zero paper. I played without a calculator, which I don't normally do. I usually have a calculator, but no, my phone actually died on the ballot round. I took a lot of time, and I know I saw a comment at the very end, like, that's stressing me out. So my bad. I was being very, very.
Well, because it was like so clear. It was so clear that I wasn't gonna win, like after turn 7, and then every minute was like every round went down to like the last minute, and I was like, oh my, because like every round, like after like turn 7, I was like every single round is like, okay, it's like I'm throwing a Hail Mary with Maryland. Yeah. I'm doing a Hail Mary with Illinois, like it's just like excruciating.
Well, my phone came back on, and then by the time I got into the app, there were only 42 seconds left in the ballot round with my phone dying. So yeah, I was playing it pretty close. I have a charger, but it doesn't charge fast enough. So like I'll plug it in tonight, and it might be 100% when I wake up. But no, I was kind of worried because the first thing I did was like protect California when my phone came on. I'm like, you know what? I don't think he can flip enough unless he gets California. But then like that used all my high tech and ag, and then my swing state money was useless. So like all I had was like 300. I had a little bit of ag that helped, and then like my cash. So I could not like defend all the states that had one pip. And I thought you would think that I wouldn't close off Alabama and Mississippi, so I left all those alone. You flipped Tennessee, I know, which I actually miscalculated. I thought I would get the reason I did that was on the second to last turn, waste all that money or spend all that money. I thought I'd get the AA bonus, and I think I was only like 10K short from flipping it. And I'd missed. I don't know what I did, but I miscalculated. So. It's all good.
That's right. I gotta go ahead and lose to Sapun over here in the round table now.
Well, good luck. He's out for revenge after his Jeff match. I've got a question for Troy and for Adam though before we get off here.
Yeah, what you got?
Yeah, definitely.
So, do you guys want to have a gentleman's agreement to not be the same candidate for our three-way?
I'm down. I think I've already got my candidate picked out. I don't know.
Yeah, all good. I'm totally in my mind. I've already gotten third place. I've watched Troy dominate some multiplayer matches lately, and Adam, you do a pretty good job of kind of being in the middle, but not in a way where it's like where you get stuck, but where you can pivot. So I'm if I was handicapping this, I think I'd make Troy the slight favorite.
I would.
But
Dude, he's messing with you guys. He's messing with you guys all right now, man.
Nah,
He's doing the same
yeah.
thing to me.
He's trying to send Adam
you thought you
action.
guys are the favorite. You guys would either be the favorite, and then I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna get third place, and then he's gonna dominate tomorrow. Watch.
I know what he's doing. He's
You
like,
can't, Brendan. You can't continue to be like, oh, I'm probably gonna lose, and when you're 7-0.
right. Well, I probably took it too far when I thought I might get regulated. I probably took it too far. But
I've
yeah,
honestly never played a 3-player match, so this will be interesting.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch some 3-player matches with some maybe Javier's stream last night. I'll just study that
Nice.
film.
Well, if you want to watch a clinic, go watch that match in Tossin, just like to the T. Like, I think he had African American high tech town and gown and swing in like a
And women's.
in like what 7 turns or something.
Yeah, you got women's, and then he started off with New York, then went to women's turn 2, got women's turn 3, then got town and gown, then got high tech, and then got African American.
I'm just letting you guys know that
You got swing after that too.
if you think you're going to be like tossing and get New York uncontested, you got another thing coming.
Dude, I've done that before. I've done that before in a match in a multiplayer where I was like, I'm going Texas. I told the group before the game, I'm like, I'm going Texas. Come clash with me. It was like the beginning of the MLL season, and I lost like the first 2 matches. Like I got in like 3rd place in both of them, and I was like, I need a win, and I keep getting too far behind. So I'm like, I need to get Texas. And so that's why I told these guys, I was like, I'm going to go to Texas. Please, like, come clash with me. And no one went to Texas. I think Troy commentated that one.
yeah, I did. I remember that one. Because I mean, in multiplayer, like it's sometimes good to like declare your intentions. So like, I don't know, like, but at the same time, like it's gonna be a mind game, and like I don't know, someone's gonna end up with like 2 big states, and other people are gonna end up with 1, and then, but you're gonna get pressured probably if you end up with 2 big states. Like it's tough. I think in 3-player, I still don't know how to play it exactly.
Right. I tell you what,
it's gonna be a wrench.
and we're gonna play it straight up, obviously. But I wonder how, like, if we didn't know who each other were, like how that would impact it. Because there's sometimes, like, if I'm playing a 3-person match, like I played one the other day with George, and like I was like, I am not letting George beat me. I don't care if this guy beats me.
Yeah, I've done that before. Absolutely.
But that's like the worst thing to do in 3-person, because if 2 people clash, like the 3rd person gets it. So
yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I gotta take off. I gotta go play against Supun. But thank you guys for doing this. I'll talk to you guys later.
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yeah, Javi.
All right.
Later.
Talk to you later.
This match is being streamed also.
Nice.
We'll wrap it up and we'll see you over there.
All right. See you.
Later.
Brendan, well played. You're a wizard.
Is there anything else? What would you have done differently? What was the weirdest? So, there was one move where I was just so on the fence. And I went back and forth, and I think I ended up low spinning that move. I just kind of waited.
The Illinois one.
Yeah,
The one
I
where
was
you-
gonna say that too. Yeah, I think that was the only thing we kind of found questionable, like just the 2-pip spend to prevent him from taking back Illinois.
Yeah, I just thought that was so obvious. Like, because I thought.
Which that's what we said. We're like, Javier is going to see that like is too obvious of a move, so he's not going to do it.
Yeah, and that flipped. I mean, not flipped, but it like gave him the inside track to Latino. It gave him export, which
African American.
and African. And I kind of thought he'd get African American with Tennessee. I couldn't believe he kept delaying Tennessee, but I don't know. It's just good to put pressure on, and I never really intended to take New York in case, unless he like totally overspent.
Right.
But no, you never know. So I appreciate you guys streaming. I Adams, you got a natural voice for this. You sound a heck of a lot better than I do.
Yeah,
I don't know about that one, but I think we're starting to get the hang of it though. This is like probably our best stream. This has been this is probably our best one. So
I'll have to go back and watch it. I had it on, but like, usually when I'm playing a low, like not say low stress. So all these RHL matches are high stress, but Javier and I have been talking like strategy, like for 3 straight days. So it was like trying to recall stuff we've talked about and like, okay, what, like, Troy was talking about Florida, and like that's me being honest. Like I just hate defending Florida. Like it just feels so dirty. So my tendency is to not, but I normally am the one chasing in Florida. So I mean, usually it just depends. But when you're stone versus stone, and like, I didn't want to give up African American and high tech. I preferred African American, but yeah, that was definitely crucial. Getting 2 of the 3 $100,000 bonuses, high tech and swing. So
definitely,
all good.
And I think we were kind of both surprised, but we also understood why. But kind of in what you just said, defending Florida. I mean, he never entered Florida, and I think we were both a bit surprised by that. But at the same time, he never had much cash to work with. So
I had 600K of swing at one point.
Wow.
I think that was when I had 1.2 million, but like half of it swing. And I was like, and he wasn't in Pennsylvania, he wasn't in Ohio, and that's why that Illinois move was so, I wouldn't say dumb, but I mean it was just like almost like I was trying to like get by, without defending it, because if I'd have just protected that, I would have had manufacturing also, because there was no way he was coming at me in Pennsylvania. I had North Carolina sealed off. I had all that swing to protect Ohio and Wisconsin. All I had to do was flip one of Kentucky and Indiana, and I was in both on that turn when he flipped it. So
and also kind of hindsight's kind of 20/20 on this one, but it really wasn't the worst thing in the world that you lost Illinois, just due to the fact that by saving that extra money, I mean, you were still over 270 electoral votes at that point. So yeah. It was like, okay, I'm going into this where he has a slight bonus advantage, but I've got 1.2 million. I mean, right. That's a big difference.
And I honestly, I mean, like I would have been happy with a ballot because I probably would have won, but I wasn't expecting that to be a ballot, and I almost didn't go in the town and gown states. But he was already in enough states to get the town and gown bonus. Like all he had to do was go up in Vermont. There were a couple states he was in. I mean, he not including Massachusetts because I had Massachusetts, but if he goes up in Utah, goes up in Vermont, and goes up in I think DC, one of the 10, or maybe it's Maine or something. Right. But he didn't do that, and I think we clashed in Rhode Island, and I was like, dang it, if I just left that alone. But I mean, I think he was going for he was going for the no clash in Montana. He double pipped, and I single pipped.
Yeah.
So we got. But I've been quick balloted twice today. In the public lobby, I was trying out some new candidates, and I don't know if you guys have played with Sarah Palin, but she sucks.
No, I haven't played with her yet. You can play with her in the 3-player multiplayer.
Oh yeah, I might.
Should I play with Kellyanne Conway just to really irritate one of you?
Oof, that's got to be tempting.
Yeah,
I mean, national groups definitely. I mean, Tossin won with national groups last night, so it's definitely. I mean, it's a whole new ball game when you add another player. 3 players is definitely tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever someone plays as Kellyanne, you're just like, oh boy, as they slowly collect all 3 national groups, and they're just sitting there waiting to take somebody's state, and I'm like, please not mine.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny. Well, it'll be fun. At what time is that? I know. So I've got my big home league, my fantasy football league tomorrow. It's an auction draft, and it usually takes about 5 hours or so.
I think I think the plan is that it's going to be 10:30 Eastern time.
Okay, that's plenty late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any rush. They're interviewing like the 270 dude tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Javier mentioned that. I don't know if it's been finalized. I hope so. It might be pre-recorded or something, but all good. Well, I appreciate both of you, and you guys have this technology thing down more than I do.
Well,
Adam's
thank you.
been killing it.
Well,
I just hop on at the end.
No, but I think we gave some good commentary tonight, and you gave us a great match, Brendan. Thank you a lot.
Yep, I appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
All right.
All right, you too,
Have
man.
a great night.
See ya.
All right, thanks, Adam. I want to get off here.
All right.
Done.
All right, sounds good. All right, thanks for being a co-commentator tonight, Troy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks for hosting us.
Absolutely. All right, we'll call it quits. All right, have a great night, everybody.
All right, sounds good.